Okay, so House of Horror, where do we begin?
Well, obviously we're going to start you off by saying that you will need old clothes.
Yeah, definitely take a spare pair of clothes because you are going to get drenched in there. And I'm not exaggerating on this one. I wore Wellington boots and they were half filled with water. So basically we're just going to sort of talk you through the different rooms at the beginning. Obviously I can't give too much away of room 13 in case any of you do. We're going to sort of talk you through the different rooms before room 13 and let you know our experience and how we got on with that one.
But firstly I suppose we'll talk like first impressions and before we go into spoiler territory.
So it was very well presented. Like the outside you have the big sign, and then you go inside, you show your tickets, and then they give you a number of the group that you're in, and then there's like a little area where you sit on haystacks and things and you wait to be called in.
And whilst you're waiting, in the background they'll play like interviews from room 13 and just like loads of people saying don't go in there.
Yeah,
like
and
that.
guys, don't go in there. Unless you're, it's not for the faint-hearted. Let's put it that way. Yeah, I can't even express how terrifying it really was. It's the scariest thing I've ever done before, and it's safe to say that I won't go back and do it again. So yeah, you wait to be called in, and then they move you to a sort of like a little sort of bunking area, if you like, when it's your turn.
Yeah,
to
it's like the final seating area.
Yeah, so when you're waiting to be called in, they'll give you waivers to sign, and they don't joke around. There is risk of death, paralysis, disability. It's pretty serious. It's not just fun and games. This is serious business. And then they do a metal detector check, so you have your arms out, make sure you're not carrying any phones or anything because you're not allowed to film in there whatsoever, obviously because it's going to give it away for other people. I wouldn't take possessions in there anyway because of the state you come out in, basically.
Yeah, you don't want to... Well, you can't really take your phone in anyway because metal detector test.
Yeah, I wouldn't even advise it anyway.
Yeah.
If you're trying to bring phone, keys, anything like that in, you are going to get soaked. You get blood thrown on you, everything. It's crazy. So we're going to sort of talk you through the rooms now. So once we've signed the waivers and we get called in, you all get given a long rope that you have to hold on to, and you lead out in single file. Was that when they put bags over your head?
No, what happens is you'll go into a dark room and you'll get shown a presentation.
Oh yes, that was it.
Just going over pretty much everything that was in the waiver.
Can I just add, guys, this is spoilers now, so if you don't want to know what happens, don't continue watching. So yeah, you're sitting in a little screening room, they'll show you the presentation, and then a lady comes round and sticks a bag over each of your heads, and then she guides you through to the first room.
Or at the presentation as well, they'll give you your safe word.
Yeah, they give you the safe words. You need to remember these because you're most likely going to use them.
I don't know if it's the same for everyone else.
I think it is. I've read that it is.
It was code red.
Yeah, code red, guys. Code red.
But which you can use throughout the whole thing. It's not just for room 13.
Oh, I didn't actually know that. Oh,
like,
I
so
did know
even
that.
if you're scared throughout the rooms 1 to 12, you can use it then and get out.
Oh, well, I didn't know that. I just assumed it was for room 13.
No, it's for the whole thing.
Oh, okay. So yeah, after you have the bags put over your head and you're guided through, you'll be led into the first room, which is like a seance room where you all sit in on a table in a circle. I was next to the fortune teller seance woman. She creeped me out a little bit. And then you all have to hold hands in a circle and chant words over and over again. There'll be things moving around in the room.
Loads of banging.
Lots of banging. There's things that fall on the floor. The room goes completely black, and there's actors that actually come in and they tugged my head, not even gently, they tugged my head to the point where my head was like rocking back and forth. Chris said he got stroked.
Well,
on the
yeah,
face.
like, they come up behind me and sort of hit me there over my glasses, and then they just like straight down my face.
At this point, I was super terrified already, so that's just gonna, yeah. So once that's done, you then go into the next room, which was
The Exorcist room.
the Exorcist room. So there's a bed in the middle with like drapes around it, and there's a girl laying there.
It's literally the scene from The Exorcist. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah, so you have the girl laying on the bed in there, all covered in blood. And then you've got like a priest, a lady priest, who's in there, and she each gives you a cross, and she sort of does that thing on your forehead, like.
Yeah.
And then you all have to chant, what is it, Christ?
May the power of Christ compel
Yeah, that's
you.
it. May the power of
Unfortunately.
Christ compel you. You have to keep saying that over and over again. And then towards the end of that room, the girl on the bed, she goes absolutely crazy and starts throwing herself at the curtains. So that was kind of crazy. And then what was after that room?
It's you get taken into the lift.
Oh yeah, you get taken into a lift after that, and then it sort of rocks around. Yeah, lift. It's got I can picture the music now. That you have music play, and then it rocks
Oh
about.
yeah, it's like typical elevator music.
Yeah.
But
If I can find the tune, I'll add it in this video.
obviously, it starts going a bit haywire. Lights start
Yeah.
flashing. The music goes all weird.
And then all of a sudden it goes pitch black, and then some guy in a mask comes out, obviously tries to scare the life out of you. It worked for me, as always. And then after that you get led out of the elevator.
Can I just say first, the guy that was in the elevator with us, he was really funny.
Oh yeah,
Like the
he was
actual
really
actor,
nice. Yeah, he was like asking where we were from and everything. What else did he ask?
I'm not sure, like, well, he asked one of the girls where they were from, and she said Harlow.
Harlow.
And he was just like, oh, a bit like a House of Horror then.
No, it was a bit like room 13, he
Oh,
said.
right, yeah.
That was it. Yeah, that was really funny. So he was up. Hats off to the actors. They were really
Yeah,
brilliant
they
in
was
there.
really good.
The
Quite funny.
rooms were amazingly themed. It was fantastic. So yeah, we got let out of the elevator. I'm just trying to. Chris has made a list.
They took us into a room full of scarecrows. It was like pitch
That
black,
was it.
but there was strobe lighting.
Yeah, and there was lots of scarecrows on the side, and then obviously there was a couple of actors, like live actors in there, but because you could barely see, it was quite difficult to know what was real and what wasn't. So you just sort of go around a winding path through this maze with all these scarecrows around. Yeah, and the actors just jump out and try to scare you, which I thought was really good.
Yeah, it was a really cool room. To
Yeah.
be honest.
And then what was the next one?
Then we got put into. It was sort of like from the first Saw, where you could
Yeah.
like see. It was like in a bathroom.
There
and
was all blood on the
over
walls.
There was like body parts on the floor and stuff like that. But we didn't go into that room. We got before that room. There's like a tiny room that we all squeezed into, and the actor was like hidden behind a door. I like clocked him straight away because I just know to check behind doors.
Yeah.
And everyone else came in. I was like, yeah, we have a little friend now. But then we went into a room full of lockers.
Yes. There was a guy there, obviously the actor, and he actually threw one of the members of our group into a locker because she wouldn't stop talking, and I think he was not liking that too much. So he shot her in there, and then he explained what we needed to do. We had 4 minutes on the clock, and we had to open each locker and try and find all the letters to spell out a word within the 4 minutes. So they're just lockers, and they've got like a little circle that you put your finger in and try and open it up that way. And then the ones that open, they've got like little holes that you put your hand in. It's all gooey and bloody.
Well,
and
some of them did, but the first one you opened, it just had like a head in there, didn't it?
yeah, there was a dangling head, and then I found that letter. So we sort of all come together and put the letters like in the middle so that we knew what we had. So we was each going around these many lockers, opening them up and picking out the letters that were in there. There were some really gross ones that just... Yeah, the actor actually said to me, "How are you finding it?" And I just said to him, "Gross," because how else do you describe putting your hand in gooey gunge that looked like maggots and blood, and it was just really disgusting. We got quite a few letters out of it.
Yeah, it must have been about 11 letters or something like that.
Just enough to fit on the actual table bit, but we didn't know what the word was. We didn't figure out the word, unfortunately.
Figure it out at all.
But
if you're good at countdown, you might have a chance.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it had that escape room vibe to it, which I really liked. We all worked together as a team to find the different letters. I really enjoyed that one. Yeah, they must have took that girl out of the locker. I didn't see him do it, but...
Because they took us into another little room and it was like, had all blood over the walls again, and it was just like a hangman on the wall, like in blood as well.
Yeah.
We was in there for like a minute or something, and then I think she just joined us straight afterwards.
Oh, okay. So what was the room after that one?
Well, just after that room, there's like a hallway going across, and there's just like a girl in front of me who said, "Oh my god, there's someone down there," and I looked down, and it was just a man hanging from the ceiling.
Oh yes, I remember that. And then straight ahead was the room that we was meant to go in, and there was like a nurse that was coming out. I was like, no, this is not good. Oh, can I just add, by the way, this room where we was finding all these letters absolutely stunk. Terribly.
Oh yeah, it was awful.
I was standing there nearly gagging.
So
it was
bad.
the worst smell I've ever smelled. Like, it was absolutely disgusting. There was all blood over the floor, and it was really gross. But yeah, on to the next room. It was like, I don't know how you describe it. Was that the one where there was dead bodies hanging from the ceiling?
Yeah, it was the butcher's.
Yeah, it was like a butcher's. There was a real live actor in the corner, like pretending to be dead, and his leg, it looked like his leg had been cut off, and he was just like sitting in a pool of blood. There was like a big sort of hot tub thing in the corner. And then there was a couple of other rooms, one where we had to sit in there and they were doing like a little show, and the guy was cutting these...
It was just like fake meat.
Yeah, fake meat, and he was like putting it all against your head and the bottom of your face, and it had blood on it as well, so you would come out and we had blood on our face, and... Oh, that was it as well. He showed us a test tube full of what looked like ladybirds, and he decided to chuck it down my back, and I had all stuff in my knickers, and I was trying to empty my knickers out whilst in that room. That was fun. I don't really know what it was that they chucked down the back
I
of me.
think that room was the only room where a jump scare got me, when he suddenly come out from the...
Oh, when we was looking in the
flat.
hot tub thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that really got me as well.
It really got you, and I was just like, oh shit.
Yeah, because I was trying to look in the hot tub to see if anyone was laying in there, and this guy just come out from the sides. That was the one that did the show and put the fake meat on your face. Yeah, that really, really scared me. And then the nurse woman, she got one of the other ladies in our group to lay on a chair. I think this woman was quite scared because she got picked on quite a lot. They didn't do room 13. But yeah, they got her to lay down on the chair, and they got me to hold her left arm. I was like, I'm really sorry, but my hands are freezing right now. And then they got the girl that she was with to hold her right arm down, and then they got Chris to pin her legs down. And then all of a sudden that butcher guy come out with a chainsaw. I was like, no. I nearly cried. I hate chainsaws, guys. It was horrible. And then all of a sudden, like, a security guard come in. It was part of the act. I thought that it was real.
Yeah, I clocked on straight away. I was like,
yeah, he would. He's Mr. Einstein over here. But yeah, she was saying, oh, there's been a code black. We need all the actors out of the room. I was like, is that it?
Yeah,
like, I genuinely thought that was the end.
She was like, oh, we're looking for Cassie, and we was like, we don't think there's anyone in our group called that.
No.
And she was like, no, it's one of the actresses. And we was like, oh, okay. And
yeah. It was
then,
really...
she took us up a spiral staircase that was in the butcher's room.
Yeah. So we went up this spiral staircase, and there's me in confusion. Chris is like, yeah, this is all part of it. And I'm just like, is it really? So yeah, we went up this staircase, and we was led to a corridor where we was another actor come out with a mask on.
Not a hazmat suit.
Yeah.
Like, sort of nuclear wasteland sort of suit thing.
Oh, can I just add that this security guard was pretending to talk on a walkie-talkie, which obviously
Yeah.
added to the effect. I was like, is this real? I don't really know. But yeah, anyway, we got led into this corridor and we was all told to like kneel down on our knees. At which point, one of the girls in our group was joking around saying, oh, I've only bought these jeans today. And the actor comes out and what is it he said?
It's just like...
Better not say the word on camera because it's quite bad.
It was like, I don't care, just get on your knees, you C-word.
Yeah, you see you next Tuesday. I was in shock. I was like, are they allowed to talk to you like that? It was absolutely ridiculous. But then you each got another hooded bag to put over your head. And then we was led through a sort of maze. Like they directed us through.
There was a rope that was like on the walls the whole time. You had to just follow the rope.
Just like Vulcan Peak in Thorpe Park. So I've experienced something very similar now. But yeah, you have a rope that you have to follow along, obviously, to guide you around the room.
Did you get like touched much through that?
Oh, one of them was... Yeah, one of them was at my ear and she just wouldn't leave me alone. I was like, please go away, please
I only
go
had
away.
it like once. I think someone just went like that.
Oh, no, she was proper in my ear and I was just like, please leave me alone. But then we got to a straight bit and we was told to take the hoods off. They didn't take my hood for ages.
Yeah, there was the hazmat suit guy was there again, and there was two, well for me anyway, there was like two other lady actresses, and he went to me, don't look into their eyes.
Yes, that was it. You weren't allowed to look into their eyes,
I was like,
but I couldn't
okay.
help it. When someone tells you not to do something, you just do it.
I was alright. I was just like, no, okay.
But me and Chris got separated in this next maze that we got led into, and I was shouting out, Chris, Chris, where are you? And all the actors are mocking me, going, Chris, Chris. I was like, really, guys? So I was like on my own with these other members of our group who I had no clue who they were, and we was trying to find our way out, and there was all different actors like spotted around the maze. They were pretty creepy, and there was constant strobe lighting. It felt like the room was moving. It was like being drunk, in the best way to explain it. Obviously, you didn't get the opportunity to go through.
I only done part of the ways. I saw Becca on the side, like when she called my name.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, how do I get
I
over
saw
there?
you walking through. I was like, Chris.
And then I went down one bit and it just led to a dead end. Now I'll come back out, and then I went round the corner a bit, and there was just a man like facing the other way. I think he was like facing towards the group, trying to scare them.
Oh, okay.
And then I looked to my right, and there was just a little room there. I went to go in it, and there was just a nurse just standing there staring at me. I was like, nope. And she was like, no, come this way. I was like, oh, okay then.
Yeah, if you explain your experience
So
first.
yeah, I went in there, and she said, give me a minute, just stand against the wall, just facing the wall. I was like, okay. And she just started asking me questions, just like, how long can you hold your breath underwater?
You said 20 seconds,
yeah,
which
I
is a
think
bit
that was a bit
extravagant.
I'm not too... I said to her, I was like, it's been quite a while since I've done such a thing, so I don't know really. She's like, give me an answer. I was like, okay. And she's like, are you scared of spiders? Are you scared of snakes? I was like, okay, this is just sort of trying to get in my head and stuff like that. And then in the room there was like, we can't really remember if there's like 3 or 4 tunnels that were like on the floor, and there was obviously like flaps over them.
I was terrified.
And she was like, I want you to go into tunnel 2. I was like, okay. And she's like, I want you to crawl in like 6 paces. I was like, okay. And she said, now, and just wait there. Don't go back, don't go forward, just stay there the whole time.
So you just sit in the tunnel.
So I crawled in there, and I just stayed there, and it was obviously pitch black, can't see anything. And I was just waiting probably at least 5 minutes, just in the pitch black. And I was just waiting for something bad to happen. I was
But
just
nothing
like,
did.
I was like, oh, they got to chuck something on me.
Oh no.
I was like, everything's fine. I just closed my eyes and just sat there like that.
So yeah, he didn't get to experience the maze like I did because we was constantly going around in circles. Everyone was bumping into each other. We didn't know where to go. We was told to go this way, that way. In the end, we got led into the same room that Chris was just talking about, and we had to face the wall. And there's me panicking, thinking, I don't know where Chris is. What if he's lost? I was panicking. I didn't know where he was. Everyone else in the group seemed to be present except for him. So yeah, they then asked if we were scared of snakes. I was like, oh, this is it. They're going to put a huge cobra adder thing on me. Then they...
I'll just say as well, I feel like before we went into the maze where we got bags put over our heads, I feel like they held me back a bit.
Yeah, they must have done.
I was after I put the bag on my head, it felt like I was waiting there for at least 2 minutes. I feel like everyone else went in straight away.
Was you behind me then when we got the bags on our head? Because you was close to me.
No, I was slightly in front of you.
Oh, was you?
But yeah, it seems that, well, obviously you did go in before me,
Yeah.
so they must have held me back.
They must have done, because I
Yeah.
didn't see you after that, and I was
No,
panicking,
so
thinking, I don't know where you
that
are.
explains why we got split up, because they...
Yeah.
So
They did it
It will
deliberately.
probably happen to someone else in a group, whoever you do it with.
Yeah, it was...
So, yeah.
So yeah, anyway, they asked if we were scared of snakes. I'm not particularly scared of snakes. You can put a big python around my neck. As long as it doesn't strangle me to death, I don't mind. And then they picked me to go through the tunnel first, and I was hesitant. I was like, no, I can't do it. I can't do it. Like, I didn't know what was in there. In the end, they pretty much pushed me to go in there. So I was crawling through, and then one of the actors was grabbing me by the leg and trying to pull me back. I was like, nope, not having this. So I carried on going. There was no snakes in there. But then I come to the end, and there was like you said, bungee cord. You have to try and sort of worm your way through to get out of the tunnel. So in the end, I just climbed over it because it seemed like the easier option to do. And then you come out into the next room, which is considered the safe room.
It's a safe area.
This is the sort of waiting area before room 13. They take your picture as well after you come out of that tunnel. I dread to think what my picture looked like. It was probably a mixture of confusion, dazed. Yeah, I probably looked a right mess. I don't know how you get to see the photos.
When I was in the tunnel as well, I was told to wait there until someone joined me and actually come up behind me. Then I could start moving forward, and the girl that come in with me, she was like, is the same girl who got locked in the locker.
Oh, okay.
And she was like, I'm extremely claustrophobic, I can't do this.
Aww.
And I was just like, it's okay, I'm in here with you. And
Oh, see, he's cute, isn't he?
And she was just like, when we got out, she was like, oh, I don't know if this is an actor or not. And basically I was just talking her through what I was doing.
Good little egg, this one.
Yeah, when I got to like the bungee cord that going across, I was just like...
What
just
tunnel was you
imagining
in then? Because I was in the
two.
I
You
was in the
one,
first
yeah.
one. So yeah, we come out into the safe room, and then we got into room 13 really quickly. I didn't expect to
Yeah,
be...
it was just like straight
Yeah, I
away.
thought we'd be waiting around for a little while, but you sort of stand against the wall and you go in separately. They put the hood over your head again. So Chris was first. I was like, bye. And then you get your picture taken with the hood on just before you go through the doors into room 13.
Yeah?
Oh, I did. I'm sure there was a flash. Oh no, they definitely took my picture.
No.
I was like, I'm not ready for this. And then like...
Shall I say my experience first?
Yeah, it's a good idea.
So, even the security guy that took me round to it, he was very sort of grabby and aggressive.
Oh, see, he was okay for me.
No, he was just like this with me, like grabbing me hard and threw me in. So yeah, this is full room 13 spoilers now.
Yeah, we are going to tell you our experience, but we're not going to go... Oh, we probably are going to go into it quite a bit.
Well, what I'll say now is I'll tell you like my thoughts on it.
Yeah.
Then I'll go into spoilers.
Yeah.
My thoughts were, oh my god.
Yeah. That was me as well.
They are extremely violent.
They are.
There is no rules.
No.
You will get hurt.
Kind
It
of
is
like
dangerous.
McCaney Manor in America. It's a bit of a dumbed down version of it. It's not as extreme, but it is pretty much that plot.
How many actors would you say there's in there? Probably about 12.
There was quite a few actors because there was 3 just sort of around me, so...
Obviously, they're all wearing masks, but I think it's probably mostly to remain anonymous.
Yeah.
Obviously they are intimidating if you're scared by masks and that, but I'm not really, so I didn't really care too much.
No.
But yeah, afterwards we were very distraught, very panicked.
I come out. It takes a lot for me to be so scared to the point where I cry, but I come out crying my eyes out. I had to sit down with a paramedic. I was freezing cold, so she put a foil blanket over me. My body was in total shock. I could not believe what I'd experienced, honestly. I've never ever been put through something so extreme in my life, and I don't wish to do it again. It was awful. I mean, I'm glad that we did it, but I can't do it again. I can't put my body through that shock again.
Right, so now definitely spoilers.
Yeah, so if you want to do room 13 and you don't want to know what happens in there, if you want to go in completely blind, I would suggest you stop watching now, because we're going to go into our experience of what happened in that horrible, horrible room.
Right. So yeah, first of all, like I said, security guard just grabbed me and was really aggressive with me and just threw me in the room. And I think, yeah, there's 3 actors in the room with me. But if you go into the small room first, then you go into the main room. And they're just like grabbing me and just saying that they don't want me to talk at all. And they're just like asking me why I'm here and why I'm doing room 13. I was told not to. And then I said, I don't know. They did not like that. They grabbed me and threw me against the wall and said not to speak again.
Sounds horrible.
So after that bit, I was led into the main room. I was sat down against the wall. It was all like a bathroom really, like showers and stuff like that. And they like pinned me up against the wall and told me to put my hands against the back of the wall as well. They was very clear about that.
Yeah.
First of all, I sort of like put my hands up and he was just like, what are you doing? I'm not going to shoot you. I was like, okay. He's just like, put them lower. So I went like that and he went to me, who do you think you are, Jesus?
Oh
and then I've like put them down lower to like
yeah.
thorax area. Like, okay. And then they brought out a little cup. You can probably tell where I'm going with this. Pulled out one little mag. They're really. I was expecting them to be a little bit bigger.
Yeah, so I'm glad they weren't.
I was kind of glad there was a little.
You would have gagged.
Obviously, held my mouth open like that and threw it in my mouth. I just swallowed it straight away. I was like, I don't want this in my mouth. So I just swallowed it straight away. And the girl actor was like, "Ooh, he likes these," and decided to grab another 3 or 4 and throw them in my mouth as well. So I swallowed them down, and then they decided to slap me around the face a few times.
Horrible.
Like, I wouldn't say it was full strength. It was probably medium strength. So it hurt, but nothing major. Might hurt someone else because everyone's got a different pain tolerance, obviously.
Yeah.
Then the girl actor, she like straight down my face and went, "Oh, you're a handsome one, aren't you?" And then she gave me a big slap as well.
Oh no, I can't. No.
Then I noticed there was like a big cage in there.
Yeah, I
like,
thought they were going to put me in that.
Yeah, I was like, oh, what's all that about? But yeah, I didn't get to see any of that. And then I got led round to the shower cubicles, and the guy just told me to lay down. Again, hands on both sides of the wall like that. One allowed to take them off. No. And he like disappeared for like 30 seconds or so. And then I could hear water running. And I was just like, oh, this doesn't sound fun. And it was like them like water chillers, like get a gallon of water and he's just holding like the big bottle like that. And he started drenching my feet. I was like, oh, that's not too bad, I suppose.
That's just the beginning.
I can deal with wet feet. And then he like come to the edge and just started throwing it all the way up my body onto my face. And you'd think that just a little water splashing over your face isn't bad, but if you're laying flat,
Yeah.
it does immediately feel like you're drowning.
Yeah, it's awful.
And he filled up at 7 or 8 of them, and I thought everyone is going to have to deal with this, but it turns out no.
No, because you'll hear mine in a minute.
Yeah, and I think after like the 5th or 6th time, Becca came in and I saw her, and she lay down in the cubicle next to me, and I like tried to say to her quietly, don't do this, so I thought she would have to experience it as well, because it was that bad. Bear in mind as well, it was like I had been underwater.
Yeah.
Like I was completely soaked. Then she was like suffering through it as well, and she got took off straight away. And
Don't tell them the next bit.
yeah, I won't tell them what happened with you. The last time we did it with water, this time he like stood right above my head and just poured it straight over my face.
It makes my heart race just hearing about it. Like,
It was absolutely awful. Then he went away for a bit and brought another actor back with him, and he had a cup this time, like a pint-sized cup, and I did not trust what was in there, so I decided to get out.
he decided to say the magical words, code red.
Partly as well because Becca had got out before me, and I could tell that she had been through a lot of pain, so I wanted to be with her to check on how she was, sort of thing.
So my turn now. Okay, so as Chris already said, you get the bag put over your head. The security, well, was he a security guy or just the person working there? Oh, I've got hair
I
on
think
my
a bit
face.
of both, really.
But he could tell that I was scared, and he was like, "Oh, are you scared?" And I was like, "Yeah, a little bit." And he was like, "You don't need to be." And then he was joking around saying, "Yeah, you shouldn't be doing this." So he was quite gentle with me, but yeah, I had the hood put over my head, walked around, and then I'm sure they took my picture because I'm sure there was a flash, and then he pushed me into the room, and then you're in like a small confined area. There was 2 actors in there, one with like a drippy sort of face, and he pinned me up against the wall by my neck, by my throat even, and he started calling me Britney Spears because of my pigtails. I had my hair up in pigtails, and he asked me as well, "What are you doing here?" And I was just, because I was so scared, like I just couldn't get words out properly. So yeah, he wasn't very pleasant in that room, and then obviously you get led into the main area where everything goes on. I got led to a chair. Obviously I could see Chris next to me, so I was like, oh, this is okay. Chris is there. And then they sat around me. First of all was the maggots. I only had one put in my mouth. I sort of crunched into it, regretted that, and just swallowed it whole. They got a water bottle and they was like spraying that over my head. I was like,
I didn't know that.
yeah, they did that to me.
Oh, okay.
I was like, okay, that's a little bit cold. So by this point I was kind of wet already. Yeah, again, they wanted me to put my hands against the wall, and I was just sitting there absolutely terrified because these men are capable of doing whatever they want to you. So then after that, they got me up off out of the chair, and yeah, with the cage, I looked at it, I was like, I really hope I'm not going in there. But then they put me in like these sort of wooden boxes. He asked me if I was scared of spiders, and I was just like, oh dear, here we go. So I got shut in this wooden box with my face like against the back, so I couldn't see anything. And
Oh,
I
was
was,
it like stood upright?
yeah, stood
Oh,
upright, and
I
he
thought it'd
shut
be
the
like
door.
coughing on the floor or something.
Oh no, no, it was just standing upright. I had to face the wall. he shut the door, and I was just sort of standing there for a minute or two, just like listening to everyone around me, just like seeing if anyone else would say code red. I was just standing there. I couldn't feel any spiders or anything. I was like, what is going on? And I'm just standing there saying to myself, this is not real, this is not real. And then shortly after, they got me out of this wooden box thing and they led me to the shower cubicles. And I started freaking out because I saw Chris laying there in the first one, and I was, obviously, my instincts kicked in. And I was like, this is horrible. But I felt really upset just seeing him lay there. And then I got thrown into the second one, told to lay on the floor with my hands against the sides. I could hear Chris saying something to me, but I couldn't quite make out what it was. And they just started dousing me in loads of water. Because it was so cold as well, my body just went into shock and I just couldn't breathe. I'd said to him, I can't breathe. And then at which point they stopped, and there was a guy that come to the front of the cubicle and he asked who had been in the longest. And I thought, oh, that'll be Chris, so you'll be led out. But no, they took me out, and then that's where my worst nightmare happened, and the point where I was led to the end of it. They sat me in a chair and they got a towel and started wiping my neck, and I was like, ow, this is kind of painful.
Bear in mind as well, this was happening right in front of me.
Oh yeah, I didn't even think that.
Well, they was like gathered around you, but I could like...
I didn't even think that. No, yeah, you would have been laying there watching. Oh. But yeah, they got a towel and they were wiping my neck, and I was like, this really hurts. And it was like, this is the easy part. And I was like, oh, here we go. Obviously, they were wiping my neck to get rid of any water, because what comes next could have killed me if they hadn't dried my neck properly. And then they proceeded to put two, like, sticky bits on my neck. And I knew exactly what was coming up because I've read plenty of reviews in the past, and this was the thing that I was most nervous about. I was sitting there thinking, this is it, this is terrifying. And then there was a guy in front and he had like a remote control thing, and they got me to put my hands against the wall again, and they said, if you take your hands off, you're out. And then he pressed the button and it just shook through my whole head, and the longer it went on, the more intense it was getting, to the point where it felt like my head was being lifted off of my neck. And he was like, oh, your hand's off the wall. And I was like, no, my hand's still on the wall actually. And they did that twice. And then the third time, I think they were going to turn the voltage up or something. And because I was in such a shock already and in so much pain, I was just like, code red, I need out, I need out. I couldn't do it anymore. And then they released me, and I ran out crying my eyes out because that was the worst pain I've ever been through before. I ran into the safe area, and the paramedic that I was telling you about, she was really lovely. She got me to sit down, she wrapped me in a foil blanket because she could tell that my body had taken too much shock from this. Obviously I was freezing cold as well from being soaked through. My boots were half filled with water, so I was clonking along, squidging along. But that was terrifying. I had to get Chris to drive us back in my car in the end because I was in such a shock. I could not stop crying.
During them shots as well, I could like hear you screaming and saying, don't do it, it hurts.
Yeah.
And they were just like, oh, does it?
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, there was like, oh, does it?
Oh, I can still feel it.
I suppose we'll do it again.
Oh, it was horrible. I can't.
I thought I'd say as well about the lighting in the room, because I kind of like the lighting. It was just like dark, but there's like hints of blue. It did look really cool.
Yeah.
I will say that. And a lot of the actors were wearing like a red headlight torch.
See, these things I didn't notice because I was so scared, and when you're scared, obviously you don't notice the little things. But yeah, there was 3 of them surrounding me in that shock chair, and I freaked out. It was the worst thing. I couldn't have gone through another batch of those shocks if I tried. I was so determined to try and complete this room, and that was the thing that got me in the end.
We'll say as well, this was only about 10 minutes, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what comes after the shocks because I've not heard anything else that's been done, but...
Like I said, I think, well, it's pretty much proof that everyone's experience will be different in there.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I took that cup that I would have finished, because he actually said to me, oh, I liked you, you were really close, I thought you was going to do it. But I kind of thought, maybe take a piss or
I
lie in a
don't
bit.
know.
Because I was expecting to move on to the shocks after that.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that you didn't get put through that. I was like,
They really wanted to drown me.
yeah, that was shocking enough in itself, and I was so pleased I managed to get through that because I was struggling to breathe and I thought I was just going to go into some sort of shock then and there, but then they fortunately stopped and didn't do.
Yeah,
That's
once you
not
say
as
code
much.
red, they do stop
Yeah,
immediately.
they
You
won't
don't have to
carry
worry
on.
about that. They will just lift you up. And I don't know about you, but they kind of aggressively threw me out of the room.
Yeah,
But yeah, they will stop, so you don't have to like keep saying it or get worried about them just carrying on or ignoring you or something like that. They do stop.
yeah, it was. Oh, I can't. It's the worst thing I've ever done. I won't do it again. I mean, I'll do the first set of rooms again because they were absolutely brilliant. I loved that
Yeah,
time
I can't
there.
fault them. It was a really good experience.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it was 12 rooms. I'm not sure because it was all just sort of.
Well, having
merged
them
into
wrote
one.
out, it kind of adds up that way.
Oh.
I don't know if they like count the hallways
Oh, it might be.
and the tunnel making that a room itself as well,
I don't
and
know.
stuff like that.
It didn't go on as long as I thought it was going to go on, which I was kind of gutted about, but at the same time,
We got out at about 7:20, I think.
Yeah, that was after me sitting there for a while though, because
Um,
I had to get some fresh clothes on because I was
So yeah,
frozen.
I suppose like the first rooms lasted about half an hour or so.
Yeah,
Considering we was in room 13 for about 10 minutes.
it just gives me chills talking about it now. It's the worst thing I've ever done.
Yeah, overall, like the actors and experience itself, it certainly lives up to
Definitely.
expectations.
I think it was definitely worth doing it, and if you guys are seriously looking to do it, I would just go for it. But just be prepared for room 13 because it's not a joke. They are brutal in there. They will hurt you. They will put you through pain and suffering like you've never experienced before. I thought it was a joke going in there, but it's not. They are deadly serious. They will hurt you. Just be warned about that one. It's not for the faint-hearted. If you have the option to go in there, you can easily leave out those doors straight away. That's all I have to say about that one, really. Anything else you wanted to add?
I don't know, I feel like even if you just go in there for a minute just to
Yeah.
see what it's all about, like there's no shame in just saying code red straight
No,
away.
definitely not.
We won't blame you for doing that.
No, I would not say that you're a wuss if
No.
you, like, I wouldn't say you're a wimp if you come out of there after a couple of minutes. I was just telling myself that I need to do this. I was very uncomfortable, but getting showered like that was extremely distressing, if you like. But I was determined to power through it, but it was the shocks that got me. I had a feeling it was going to be the shocks that got me. They were worse than I could ever have imagined beforehand. I knew they were going to be painful, but I didn't realise they were going to be that painful. So, yeah, that's pretty much it really. Anything else you wanted to add?
Not really, I don't think so.
I paid £37 each for the experience, but it is about £32 I think if you go in a group of 10.
How is it?
Yeah, it was cheaper, but
Okay.
obviously trying to find another 8 people to go with
Yeah.
wasn't going to happen, especially after all the horror stories you hear of it.
Like, I think it would be a good, like, a stag do experience. Because it did, on the waivers, it had, like, reasons why you're here.
Oh yeah, it did, didn't
And we
it?
just had fun, and one of the
Yeah.
options was, like, stag do. I was like, yeah, this would be pretty cool for a stag do.
But it's not. I would not recommend taking young children in there because
Well, you have to be at least 16, you know?
I don't remember reading about that. I don't remember. But either way, yeah, it's not for young children at all. I mean, The amount of people it breaks.
It is not for old people as well.
No, definitely not. You need to be pretty good in health.
And you need to be pretty nimble in some places. Like getting through the tunnel, I don't.
Yeah, if you've got mobility issues, it's not for you.
Yeah.
Honestly. I was going to say something else now and I've totally forgot.
Oh, make sure you take decent footwear, because a girl in our group decided to wear flip-flops.
Yeah,
not a good idea.
Not really a good idea.
Because when you've got bags over your head, you're like going down steps and stuff like that, uneven flooring and stuff, so you don't really want to trip over.
No, definitely not. Although I feel like I could have done with sandals for how wet I got.
Yeah.
It was awful. And I forgot what I was going to say. I had something on my head and... Not on my head, in my head even. And I totally forgot what I was going to say. Please help me try and remember. I can't remember what it was about. It was talking about like mobility issues and things. I honestly can't remember now. Well, if I remember, I'll just have to add it into the video at a later time. I'll probably remember it as soon as I finish this video. But yeah, if you guys are interested in the House of Horror, be sure to look it up on the website. I don't think it's around for too much longer, but I think it is something that they do yearly. It's next to the Brentwood go-karting track. Yeah, hope you enjoyed our little review, and safe to say I'm not going to do it again. Anything else?
No, we're good.
Okay.
Have fun, everyone.